Hey guys, David Phillips, attorney. The question comes up, can I keep my credit card if I file for bankruptcy? And the answer to the question depends on what you mean by keep the credit card. If you have a credit card and have no balance on that particular card, you would not be required to list that as one of your debts in either Chapter 13 or Chapter 7. But if you do have a balance on the card, you most definitely would have to list that as one of your creditors, and they would then, of course, be notified along with all of your other creditors that you had filed bankruptcy. At that point, in most instances, they are going to cancel the credit card and you would no longer be able to use it. Even if they did not cancel the card, in a Chapter 13 case, for instance, you would not be allowed to use that credit that might be available to you without court permission, and that is generally something the court does not like to do because one of the reasons you're in bankruptcy, Chapter 13 in our example, is because of credit problems. But there are exceptions to every rule, as you know, so it's possible that you could get permission to use the credit card maybe for an emergency or something like that. If you're filing a Chapter 7 case, if you do have a balance on the card at the time you file, with it being listed in the petition, most likely it will be canceled shortly thereafter. And even if they didn't cancel it, if you're trying to discharge any balance that you owe on that credit card, certainly that would be unethical to try to go ahead and charge again unless you were going to pay the account, which would then defeat the purpose of filing the bankruptcy. So it depends on what you're trying to do with the credit card, and you have to realize that almost all of the major credit card companies periodically check your credit report anyway. The information about bankruptcy filing is very freely available to them, and you might find even on a credit card that you had no balance and you had hoped to keep it maybe for an emergency, and therefore it wasn't listed in your Chapter 7 or Chapter 13 case, that months or even years later you find out that the card's been canceled, and that is because they have found out about the bankruptcy filing and made a business decision to cancel your credit. So in short, probably not a good idea to try to keep a credit card if you are filing bankruptcy. However, I do understand the need sometimes for an emergency situation, so you would most definitely want to be sure that that card had a zero balance at the time of your filing, and if then it were a Chapter 13 case, you would need to get court permission to use that credit card during your Chapter 13 plan. Hope that information was helpful about credit cards in bankruptcy. Please feel free to give our offices a telephone call at any time, and we'll be happy to discuss your particular situation. If you prefer to email us, just go to our website, phillipsbankruptcy.com, go over to the contact section, shoot me an email, and we will respond as soon as possible. Thanks for watching the video.